To discuss this issue, I'm joined by Jordan Blythe, the Chairman of Teesside University's Labour Society, James Carroll, the University Welfare Representative, and from the Christian Union, Lewis Medley. Thank you very much for joining us today, guys. Unfortunately, no one from the Conservative branch could join us, but we aim to carry on regardless. So, now obviously one of the biggest issues that's going to be coming up for students next year is the 2015 general election. Like I said, for a lot of students it will be their first time to vote. Do you think there needs to be an awareness made for that, Jordan?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the world, there is a sense that the world tends to be run by sort of ageing white men, and it's important that young people stand up and get themselves into government and vote and make their voice heard, because otherwise they're just going to be trampled upon. And that's why the likes of Nick Clegg thinks he can get away with treble and tuition fees, why the Tories reckon that they can cut humanities teaching budgets by 80%. I only found out about this the other week. I mean, I just looked it up, and it's staggering that they can get away with this, and they reckon they can because a lot of students and a lot of young people are quite apathetic.
Are you not worried at all that students might just tend to go with what mum and dad say, what mum and dad would vote for? They don't actually have their own political affiliation.
I disagree with that.
I do too.
Yeah, I think possibly in about 5-10 years ago, that would be. I think students are more savvy now about politics.
Do you think it's a good system, Lewis? I mean, you've obviously been able to vote before. This will be actually your second time, so.
Yeah, that's a good point. The thing like voting for what your mum and dad vote for isn't necessarily a bad thing, because if your parents are voting for the people that are best going to help out your family, then obviously voting for the same people is going to benefit you as well. So it's not necessarily that you have to vote for someone different, but people are educated on what each party is doing and wants to do, so that people can make an educated decision in what they would like to vote for.
I actually disagree with that a little bit. I think that this, the best way I've seen it described is as tribal voting, which is the idea that you do exactly as your family do. So if your family are all Tories, then you vote Tory as well, or Labour, vice, or whatever. And I think it's important that people have their own opinions, they have their own voices, and they make them heard, and they think about things in their own way. I mean, just within my family, there's at least 4 different political affiliations just within my immediate family that I can think of.
So how do you think the students will break out of that system?
Education. Honestly,
right?
Yeah, education. If you're educating people about politics, educating people about being a citizen, really, and that's what you need to do, and that's how you're going to make people more aware, make people more savvy, change behaviours, and that's all due to the education system.
One last question off each year, from left to right, one word. Who do you think is the strongest party at the moment and will win next year?
Labour.
Simple as that. Lewis?
Labour. I don't know. I think it's pretty even. But I think if one could win, I think it'd probably be Conservatives. Based on that, Labour seems to not be doing a great deal at the moment.
That is I'm sure someone will go into another tab. And thank you very much to our guests there. There was a great range of opinions going on.